I'm going to show you what is the best possible build in the entire game for AoEing down group dungeon mobs completely as a solo. This build does the most AoE DPS, and it has the most sustain, which means you will not be killed very easily against groups of mobs. As a matter of fact, the more mobs you fight, the more survivability you have. Let me show you a demonstration, then I'm going to show you why you would use this build, how to use this build, and so on and so forth. Alright, we're going to pull as many melee mobs as possible. Let's grab these guys. We don't really like the archers too much. The archers are very, very high in damage, so I'm trying to avoid archers. And I'm also trying to pull them a little bit closer, get them all nice and bunched up here like this. And here we go. We're going to begin combat. You can see here, this is a tremendous amount of mobs, a very destructive amount. But my HP just goes right back to full. And look how much damage that I'm dealing to the entire group. An insanely high amount. Alright, and it doesn't end here, okay? My HP is a little bit low, but I have another heal, which I'm going to activate right now. And that's going to mostly top me back off. The enemies now are almost fully cursed up. They are almost all actually completely dead too. And these enemies have 11,000 HP, 9,000 HP. They have a very large health pool. These are not weak monsters, but I was able to kill them all relatively easy with very little difficulty. And I can chain pull this. Like, I'm already ready to pull the next group, okay? And you may be thinking, well, this is just a tier 4 zone. This is a tier 4 static zone. Alright, these mobs are meant for groups, and you can see the fame that I'm getting. The fame is so high, and I don't have a satchel on, mind you, and I don't have auto respec on because it would cost way, way too much. But it is a very great reason. I'll go over the reasons later why you would use this build, okay? So for now, let me show you how this build works and why it works the way it does, and how you can do it too, okay? Let's go over the items and why we use these specific set of items. First up is the Shadow Collar. Now, I just want to say, for those of you that don't have full 8.3 or the spec to use 8.3, you can get away with using 5.3. The exact pull that I did, you can also do that pull in 5.3. You don't need 8.3, it's just easier and it's faster if you have 8.3, okay? I don't know why someone's talking about me in the chat there. Bidgie is muted, sad face. Anyway, so first up for the helmet, you're going to use a Scholar's Cowl, okay? The reason why is because it gives you this ability called Energy Shield, which is this purple shield, and whenever you take damage with this shield activated, it restores a very large amount of mana, because this is quite a mana-hungry build. But also, that purple shield gives you a large amount of both magic and physical resistance, okay? Armor and magic resistance. For a good amount of time, 4 seconds, okay? And it's also on a short cooldown, just 30 seconds. Very nice. For the cape, you can use a Thetford cape, or you can use a Demon cape. I like Thetford cape because it's higher DPS overall in longer fights. Alright, now you want to use the Hellion jacket, and the reason why is you have a Lifesteal Aura. This is your backup self-heal. This also does a large amount of AoE damage the weaker that you are, and heals you for more. So this is just a chest that does AoE damage, a very large amount, but also heals you. There's no downsides. For your weapon, it's the Shadow Collar. You're going to be using it with Cursed Tar, which is this spell here. And what this is going to do is apply a damage over time up to 4 stacks on enemies when they stand in this, okay? And it applies very quickly. And enemies aren't going to step off of this unless they're archers. Archers are the special kind of mob. For your W, you're going to be using Cursed Beam. What this does is it will suck away one of the Vile Curse charges and deal an AoE damage attack. Very often, it also has a very low cooldown of 10 seconds. So what you do is you cast Cursed Tar and you immediately cast Cursed Beam on top of all the enemies. But you also want to have some sort of defensive ability running, because this does, you are forced to channel, so you can't move around as you cast this. And then finally, your spell Inner Shadow, because you are wearing leather armor, deals an AoE all around you that heals you rapidly over time. So the more enemies you pull, the more that you heal. And it heals for quite a large amount when you have higher spec. For your boots, you're going to be using the Guardian Boots with Giant. And what this does is it doubles your HP. So I have 3,499. Well, not quite double, but now I have 6,998. What this means is that all damage that I receive in this form when I return to normal is halved. So think of it like this. A mob hits me for 100 damage. I have 3,499 health. I have 3,399 HP. When I am in large form and I take damage, I will still take 100 HP. But when I return to regular size, it will restore the amount of HP equal to that remains, which means I theoretically only took 50 damage, if that makes sense. Okay? I use the defensive passive on the boots, the offensive passive on the armor, the offensive passive on the helmet. For the food, I use the roast pork, and this is mandatory. You cannot get away with anything less. You can use stronger roast pork, however, it's not economically viable. Alright? Roast pork gives you a lifesteal of 9.45% of all the damage that you deal. That means your Hellion Jacket, when it deals damage, you heal. Your puddle, your cursed tar, that's going to heal you. The damage over time curse charges, those are going to heal you. Your auto attacks. Also for your weapon, you can use the explosive Bane passive. So every time you attack, every 4 attacks, you do an AoE explosion. That's going to heal you with that roast pork. Every attack that you're doing is going to be healing you, okay? Including the Thetford Cape jumps, 4 jumps. Okay, for your offhand, use a Moizak. I don't know how to say this word. Muizak? I don't know how to pronounce it, but there's a few reasons why. The only downside to using this is it makes your spells cost more mana, but because of your helmet, you will have infinite mana. Now, this gives you an increased amount of damage for both your auto attacks and your spells. It also increases the healing you receive from your spell here. However, it does not increase the healing you receive from your Hellion Jacket or your potion or your life-stealing roast pork. I use a regular potion just as a clutch. It's just free health. Sometimes you got to use it in like a boss fight. Sometimes you don't. This build also allows you to solo most Tier 4 and Tier 5 group dungeon bosses. There are a few that you can't solo. With that said, for the mount, if you're doing static mobs outside, you can use a bear, so you can easily mass group them together, because the bear is ultra tanky and has a very large health pool. Otherwise, the mount doesn't really matter. You don't have to use a mount for these pools. So the way I do it is I'm going to tell you the order now of operations, okay? And I'm going to do it against a single mob here, just so you can easily see what the hell is going on. So as soon as I dismount, I'm going to throw a puddle down into the middle of the group. That's going to tick up these curse stacks. Alright, I'm going to try to maneuver around and throw a second puddle immediately into shield into my W spell so that I'm channeling, because I can't move, I can't dodge, I have to tank some hits. I want that shield up. By then, the enemies will have me down to about half HP. I'm going to cast E and hurt them all, which will heal me over time while throwing down more puddles. Every time puddle goes off cooldown, I'm throwing it down. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to throw down a puddle, grow large, and press W once again to AoE the entire group. And because I'm large, I'm more effective at tanking enemies. At this time, my shield is most likely back up, so I can, again, do a puddle into a W, puddle, shield, W. If I get really low on HP, then I will use my Hellion Jacket. Hellion Jacket is your oh crap button, your oh gosh darn button. If I use swear words on YouTube, I don't get paid. I'm sorry. I want to say all the mean, nasty words, guys. But let me show you now a live demonstration. We're going to pull... Look how many melee mobs we got. Alright, let's try to get at them near the range mob, which is the wizard. So I'm going to put the puddle right here in the middle. And I got knocked around. My mount is disabled. So I've got 2 puddles, D into W. So I'm channeling. Okay, drop that Q again. Alt plus E casts on yourself, by the way. I'm also left-clicking so that I am auto-attacking. Drop another puddle. Okay, I got interrupted, so my E did not go off properly there. That's fine. I'm going to drop another puddle here. Make sure that I'm just throwing puddles on them at all times. And then finally press W, and they will die from this. And there you go. Also, if you can help it, try to W the highest HP mob that you can find. Alright, so let's show you an example now of the pool. A big one, we do have an archer. You really want to avoid the archer mobs. I dropped a puddle. I'm dodging, I'm dropping another puddle, I'm going to shield into my W now, and I'm taking a lot of damage, but that's okay. I'm going to hold Alt, push E to heal, drop another puddle. Alright, we're still good, our health is mostly full. Drop another puddle, I'm going to W now. I did not grow, so my health is low, I'm pushing R to get that Hellion Jacket active. Dropping another puddle. And when this Hellion Jacket runs out, I'm going to grow big, so that I am more tanky, growing big now. Dropping the W, and look at the mobs, they're nearly all dead. Dropping another puddle on these 3 mobs here. This archer, very problematic, so we're going to drop a puddle on the archer and auto-attack them. And there we go. Puddle on the last guy, W him down, and we did it. And you can do, if they were all melee, you can pretty much do an infinite number of melee units. It's wild, okay? It's the archers you have to worry about. Now, little baby archers, that one only has 2,500 health. Not a big deal, okay? Archers there. I'm avoiding archers. I just want the melees. Now, you know, just a few archers isn't going to hurt anything too much. Again, 2 puddles into D into W, charge it up, drop another puddle. I'm going to go ahead and Alt and E to heal myself. It's just 1 mob left, so not a big deal. I'm just going to push spacebar to auto attack them, drop a puddle, hit my W, and then this should maybe finish him off, not quite. Drop 1 more puddle, he's dead. And if I had auto respec on, if I had a satchel on, it's an insane amount of farm. These guys are clearly, you know, doing it like crazy. And I'm going to grab a whole bunch of these dudes here. And again, we can keep going with this. Now, I want to make sure that I am puddling the archer. The archer is the big, scary guy. I'm going to go ahead and Alt-E here to heal. Drop a second puddle, shield into my W. That's going to AoE down all the weaklings. And there we go. Drop another puddle. I'm going to grow big so I'm tanky, because we do have a lot of melees on us right now. They're casting spells. Just kind of run around, drop your puddles every once in a while. It's fine. I'm going to be tanking some hits here. Drop another puddle. I'm going to target the one with the most health. Press W on him. That's going to AoE everything around him, including himself. There is a hidden archer here behind this bear. With 1 shot left, I'm going to auto attack him down. He's dead. And there we go. That's another giant group defeated. And you can do this with tier 5 mobs. You can do this with tier 5 group dungeon mobs. Now, if you start getting into like tier 5.1, 5.2 group dungeon maps, it starts to get a little difficult. So I'm going to give you a fair warning. Like, you can only pull so many of those. All right. But this area, you can pull an infinite amount, okay? 3 archers. I'm avoiding that fight. That's a 4th archer I've pulled. There's 2 more there. Don't engage that. That's why we have the bear. We can just run away. It's fine. Those archers will shred your health, okay? Just avoid archers. Try not to get too many wizards either. And again, not just undead mobs, but any kind of ranged attack mob. They deal so much more damage than their melee counterparts. And you can't bunch them up as easy because their AI makes them evasive. And you can see the tooltip is still giving me fame countdowns here. Let's see, what can we... Okay, there's too many archers. Now, if you want, you could do little baby pulls. You can kill the archers in each of these groups and then mass pull all the melees. Like, here's 3 archers, 1 melee. That's totally doable, right? So I can just run that down here, group them all up like so. We'll see, except that backline archer, he's not quite lined up yet. Oh, that's just 2 archers and a baby melee. So drop puddle. Okay, I'm going to drop a second puddle. Shield, W. That's going to start chewing down all the weaker ones. Target the one with the most health, drop puddle, Alt-E for AoE. I'm going to go ahead and Hellion Jacket here just to kill this guy faster, right? I'm going to go ahead and hit W once again because I dropped a puddle. I'm going to drop another puddle, and I'm just going to finish him off with regular attacks. So you can do baby pulls if you're not confident, or you can do mega, massive, super duper, hella awesome pulls. So what is doing this accomplish? Why would you do this? Why would you farm static group dungeon mobs? Oh, there's a chest there. I can actually go take that chest. Well, that's the first reason, okay? If that other group doesn't go ahead and grab it, because there is a larger group that's farming this area. And that chest just disappeared, so that makes me think that right when it spawned, someone nabbed it? Is that what happened? No? Okay. So what I can do, I can just run straight to this chest and kill the guardians of it, in front of it, right? So, again, we got a couple archers here and a wizard. So I'm going to try to group everyone around them. The archers are being evasive, which is really annoying. And I casted my spells out of order, but it's only 4 mobs. I can afford to make multiple mistakes. I'm going to drop a puddle, kill this archer, finish him off. There's also a wizard and a pukey guy here. And, again, just drop puddle, cast W. It's simple, it's easy. There we go, puddle. I'm halfway dead, but I've got 2 defensives. I've got my Hellion Jacket. We're fine, okay? This thing's about to die. There we go. So sometimes these chests have hundreds of thousands worth of loot. In this case, it has 32,000 in loot and 26,000 more in silver bags. So this is a 58,000 silver just chest that I got for killing some very easy mobs, okay? If you're in a tier 5 static area, the chests are way, way better rewarding. And if you're in a black zone using 5.3 set, because that would be more economic, you don't want to take 8.3 in a black zone. then you will absolutely profit like 10 million an hour, which is what I about average, okay? But that's also super risky because there's other people doing that too. And there's people that run counter builds to that shit. But like I can go into this group dungeon, which is a, it looks like it's a 4.1 group dungeon because of the green butterflies. And what I can do is I can not only solo everything in here, I can also kill the bosses and get that group dungeon loot, which can be anywhere from like as little as 100k per chest to 700 to 800k, okay? And these mobs, again, they're the same strength as the guys outside, all right? We drop a puddle, we hit our shield, we press W, and we're just going to AoE them down. They have 7.65 thousand HP. Again, this is just tier 4 zone. You can do this in tier 5. All right, and they're going to whirlwind me like whoop-de-doo. I'm just going to kill them, and down they go. All right, and the fame is way better in the tier 5s than the tier 4. And also, the faction warfare points. You get so many faction warfare points by doing this farm. You get... The only thing faster is solo ganking. Solo ganking during bandit event in black zone, red zone? I'm sorry, yeah, red zone. I'm also overloaded with loot apparently, so I'm gonna throw. Oh wait, no, it's because I didn't have my bear summoned. Yeah, I didn't bring a backpack, so that's why I'm overloaded on loot. So I'm moving slower. But there's so many good reasons. It's the best fame farm in the game. Okay, if I go to a tier 5 static zone and it's not busy and there's not a lot of people there, and I have a satchel on, it is the best fame farm in the game. It is the fastest fame that you're ever going to get completely safe. People from the enemy faction can attack you, but they can't take your stuff. You just get knocked down. If you're faction flagged, you're earning faction points, which is a great alternative to get more silver and fame. Let's see, I am in disarray, so I can't travel back, which is fine. This build it's just amazing. It's the highest DPS for solo clearing group dungeons. Also, I believe Hardcore Expeditions use a similar build, though they use Spectre Jacket, I believe, with this build, so that they can, you know, speed clear Hardcore Expeditions. But with that said, if you have any questions, I read every single comment. I may not respond to every comment, but I read every comment. So if you have any questions about this build or about this video, let me know. Go ahead and leave your comment right now. I'll answer it, okay? There is just so many great things for you can do for solo farming group content. It's way better loot than solo dungeons. Now, to compare speed, I can clear one floor in 8 to 10 minutes. A full floor, a really big floor of a group dungeon, 8 to 10 minutes. Whereas with a Great Axe build, which was my favorite before making this video, would take me about 15 minutes. So you're saving 5 minutes per dungeon floor. It's that much faster. The DPS is almost triple that of a Great Axe. It's totally amazing. You really got to try this, okay? And yeah, you do need high spec. You don't need max spec, but anything 5.3 and above, you're golden, okay? You're all set. All right? There's no reason not to do it. If you need a fame farm, you go farm static group areas. You need silver, go farm group dungeons. You can go buy a group dungeon map, super cheap in tier 4, tier 5. I recommend tier 5, and have that thing cleared in like 10 to 20 minutes and make almost 1 million silver in 10 to 20 minutes. It's that easy, okay? There's a few legendary bosses in tier 5 that you can't beat with this build, but if you have a druidic staff swap, you can solo it. It just takes a while. There's no reason not to run this build for all your needs. Okay, you need to fame farm combat fame credits. I have a video on my channel where I basically took the warlock tree here, and I maxed out all of these to 100 in one little setting. It only took me 25 hours of grinding. In 25 hours, I maxed an entire weapons tree. And yes, that is with an 8-3 satchel. That is during the Fame Farm event that's going on right now. This little Fame Farm event, Living Legacy, where you get the Fame Cakes, okay? I didn't eat a Fame Cake for the video, because I wanted to show you guys how much Fame you would be getting without a satchel, and just with Premium Active. With a satchel, oh, you're getting like 20k a ball. You get double, it's 100, it's like 95% more Fame. And then if you have that Fame Cake, that's another 20%, I believe, or 15. I think it's 15. But regardless, guys. This build, it makes you silver, it gives you fame, it speed clears, it's the fastest way to clear group dungeon content. And maybe you don't have to solo with this build, you can just use this build in a group if you want, and then you're going to be blowing almost everything up super duper quick. There's literally no reason not to use this. With that said, I'm Soul Binging. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me today and listening to me, and hopefully you learned something. If there's anything else you want me to make a video about, I read every comment, so feel free to give me a suggestion. Now, before you suggest, though, please use the search function on my channel. Type in the keyword that you want to search for. If you want to learn about laborers or crafting, type those words into my channel, and there's plenty of videos. I almost have 300 Albion Online videos on my channel by now, guys. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and if this really helped you out, feel free to leave me a monetary donation. Click the thanks button down below, leave a monetary donation, and that will show up in the comments, and if you leave a big enough one, it will change the color of the whole comment box. If you want to become a channel member, it's $5 a month. You know how like people subscribe to people on Twitch? They pay $5, they become a Twitch subscriber. Well, YouTube has it too. It's called YouTube memberships. It's $5 and you become a channel member. This gives you access to private, more personal videos on the channel, which if you go to the pinned comment right now, you can see a whole playlist. One of those is how to be a YouTuber. So if that interests you, maybe become a channel member. It really does help me out greatly. It allows me to eat, which improves my mood in these videos, big time. Anyway, videos every single day on this channel, so come back tomorrow for another video. Make sure you're subscribed. Take care, lads.